The impact of COVID-19 throughout the past year and a half has had a profound effect on society. Families were torn apart, marginalised groups were left silenced, and our feelings of connectedness and belonging were weaker than ever before. However, as the world slowly resumes to normal, Enactus UTS has been working hard towards giving voices to those left without one throughout the pandemic. We are currently working towards supporting good health by improving mental and social well-being, as well as reducing social inequalities. Our first project is Enable.
This is Jenny and her son Christopher. Christopher was born with a severe case of cerebral palsy, limiting not only his neurological growth, but his physical development as well. Not until the age of 18, where several surgeries inserting steel plates in his knees granted him the ability to stand and trample his first steps. Jenny feels as though the only social support she can receive from other parents is sympathy, a point which frustrates and forces her to question, why me? But like so many more, Jenny faces this debilitating challenge alone. Similarly, Gemma, a palliative carer, faces the daily challenge of watching over and soothing the terminally ill. Like Jenny, Gemma feels as though no one will ever be able to fully grasp the emotional and existential turmoil she undergoes every day. But how can this be for both Jenny and Gemma in a vastly interconnected world such as today? How can such degrading levels of isolation be so prevalent when we are supposedly so socially connected through social media?
In 2018, there were 357,500 children with additional needs. As for parents in the same year, 1 in 5 parents of children with additional needs were dissatisfied with the variety of organised services available to assist them. Finally, for carers and support workers, those who provided 40 hours or more care per week saw 1/3 of whom did not participate in any social activities away from home. Our first step to engage with the problem space was to reach out to family members and other people we knew personally who were carers of children with additional needs to interview. Parents and carers both revealed that they found it challenging to make friends with others who understood the experience that they have had whilst caring for children with additional needs. Ultimately, we realised that having a support network is crucial for the well-being of these individuals. They worried that their children would be lonely and experiencing social inequality.
So, what's our solution at Enable? We are aiming to offer a focused social platform that tailors to parents of children with additional needs and carers or support workers, connecting them into a wider community through in-person meetups and a virtual social space. Specifically, the functions of this platform will include a virtual social space for discussion, private messaging, as well as a map function displaying the locations of other users, which may be toggled on or off. We believe that this will provide the fundamental tools for parents and other carers to open up new and fruitful social opportunities where they can console with each other about their challenges and build a strong sense of community to propel them forward. Therefore, Enable is providing a platform where parents and carers may stand in solidarity beside each other to become and overcome the debilitating lack of social mobility and development they have undoubtedly experienced. At Enable, we are aware that building a platform that shall involve certain levels of interaction between children and other users, such as through play dates, exposes the platform to the confronting issue of child grooming and child predators. We would like to comment that this issue remains a constant underlying problem across any form of social media involving interaction between users, where even employees have abused their privilege, access to spy on other users, and that the safety of any platform is ultimately down to user discretion. We are, however, looking to put in services that mitigate this issue, such as a privacy mode that turns off user locations, and the ability for parents and other carers to communicate and report with us about what they have experienced.
Our competitors mainly consist of companies that offer services to people with additional needs, such as Playgroup New South Wales, Peer Connect, NDIS, and other non-for-profit organisations that provide real-life meetups. However, we have noticed that these existing services are still not as effective as they can be, as they do not foster an ongoing personal connection and relationship between carers and parents, and thus also children. Thus, in our product, we are able to fulfill the needs of parents and carers who are extremely busy individuals to form more personal one-on-one relationships. This means that planning a play date or meetup can be a lot more simple, as only 2 people's calendars need to be in sync. Our Facebook group is easy to use, as most adults already have this social media. Further, after finding others who live locally, users can then easily message each other through the app, so parents and carers can connect and talk virtually before planning a meetup. This makes it safe and accessible to as many Sydney-siders as possible. In regards to ways forward, we plan on hosting events and finish testing our Facebook group prototype. We aim to incentivise our product through in-person events, which will be an opportunity to bring users of the Facebook group together in person. Lastly, we will reach out to support services that already exist in this community. This way, we can better understand the target market and potentially work alongside these companies to develop our product.
Our second project is the Wanderers Stories, who are working to empower refugee youth by encouraging and enabling therapeutic and creative expression. We acknowledge that this project is still in its early development stages and we have much growth to do, but that's a challenge Enactus UTS is willing to tackle.
Out of the 12,706 refugees that settled in Australia alone in 2018, over 50% of them were children under the age of 18.
Various studies show that a range between 6 and 40% of refugee children and adolescents suffer from major depression.
Refugee children and adolescents often have higher levels of PTSD than adults, ranging from 50% to 90%.
To this day, there's still a severe lack of use of mental health services by refugee youth.
We wanted to create a project that would help increase the mental, emotional, and social well-being of refugee children. But first, we needed to learn more about our problem space. So, we started researching.
Our research was primarily structured around the 8 stages of the refugee process model. We specifically focused on the post-resettlement stage once we recognized a gap in research catered towards supportive services for mental health. Then we knew at Wanderers Stories that it was essential to investigate what services and impacts we could make on mental health issues to promote the safe and comfortable migration of refugee youth to the respective host countries so that they could truly settle.
Our survey recorded that 80% of refugee youth feel culturally disconnected to the country of origin. 70% feel isolated from people of their own culture. 80% do not feel welcomed in the host country. And 80% struggle to communicate and express themselves in the host country. With these results, we were able to affirm the struggles refugee youth face that deteriorate their mental health.
In the same survey, we wanted to know what our project could focus on, providing a support service for refugee youth that could alleviate the struggles and issues of mental health. With an array of activities, we asked our participants which they found most therapeutic. We found that art was the highest selected, with 33.3% of refugee participants considering it as the most therapeutic activity. Some participants further explained that they found art therapeutic as it enabled them to be creative and expressive individuals.
We then wanted to specify the most effective and interesting medium to operate an art-based project. We used linear scales to identify the interest of our participants for project proposals ranging from apparel designs to social media platforms, culinary classes, sports gatherings, and a book or podcast series. However, we noticed that a book or podcast series also piqued the interest of 50% of our participants.
We came up with the idea of a picture book. Refugee youth will undergo artistic workshops that will nurture their cultural identities and improve mental health and well-being through the creation of a picture book. Not only would they be able to nurture their artistic skills, but they will be empowering themselves and others by immersing the general public into their stories. The designs from the workshop will then be displayed in a community cultural fair and exhibition at the end of the program, with exemplary designs to be published and sold.
To ensure success, we will reach out to public groups and establish connection with the community. A landing page and strong social media presence has been established to garner interest and create a mailing list for potential organizational connections and customers. From this, we've had numerous beneficiaries and supportive workers reach out to us. Through a 3-tier plan, we begin phase 1 by running workshops with students aged 12 to 15, with them creating picture books for primary school students. The artistic workshops will be run by a group of diverse voluntary art students. Exemplary works will be selected and self-published through Amazon, which are sold, manufactured and delivered upon a sale being made. Books are made and distributed via Amazon, who manufacture the physical product, which means no manufacturing costs for us. We will market our books to primary school age children by establishing connections with primary school libraries to stock our books in their libraries or have them exhibited at multicultural days. Phase 2 will involve running our workshops with primary school age children. Phase 3 will be with older high school aged students.
With Wondrous Stories, we aim to take our project into the future by recruiting at least 5 culturally diverse art mentors to guide our arts workshop program by September 2021.
Secure partnerships with local high schools and Settlement Services International by October 2021.
Operate our first pilot art workshop program by November 2021.
And self-publish our first children's picture book through platforms such as Amazon by February 2022.
As we face a new normal, Enactus UTS is continually renewing our goal of making the world a better place. Enable and the Wondrous Stories are helping marginalised communities reconnect with a post-COVID society and are striving towards better health and equality. By doing so, a sense of common belonging can once again be found, and those left without a voice will once again be heard.